How do you take two long exposure photos on your iPhone in RAW format? And I'm not talking about the live mode in native camera app. How do you take this photo instead of this one? From basics to advanced. In this tutorial, I will take you through ReeXpose app, explain all settings, and share pro tips on how you can take long exposure photos to the next level from this to this. This video is sponsored by Reeflex, the creators of ReeXpose app. Ahoy, this is Zdenka. If you want to learn more about photography and video, consider subscribing. What do you need to take long exposure photos? You need your smartphone and a tripod. Native Camera app does have a live option where you can take long exposure photos, but it's very limited. Therefore, I will be using ReeXpose. It's a specially designed app which lets you capture standard RAW Bayer 12-bit DNG images without the need of an ND filter. So how does this work and what can we control here? Let me show you how to take a basic long exposure photo in automatic mode. First of all, whenever you double tap on the screen, you will reset settings to automatic mode. Here at the bottom on the right side, you can select the lens you would like to use: wide, ultra wide, and telephoto. I will stay with wide. There are two types of long exposure photos you can take: motion blur or light trail. Motion blur is on the left, light trail is on the right. Motion blur is for taking photos of moving objects such as waterfalls or making moving people disappear in a city. Light trails will capture light, so you can take photos of moving traffic at night or night sky star trails. In the middle is capture duration slider. It goes from 1 second all the way to 2 hours, and a bulb, which is unlimited. You would manually press the shutter button to close the capture. Great! That is simple, but what capture duration to select? I've got a little cheat sheet for you. Water with texture, 1 to 3 seconds. Smooth water silky effect, 5 seconds and up. Fast moving clouds, 15 seconds and up. Slow moving clouds, 120 seconds and up. Removing people, 30 to 180 seconds. Light painting, 5 seconds and up. Fireworks, 5 to 30 seconds. Car trails, 30 to 120 seconds. And lastly, star trails, 30 seconds and up. It can go very long time here. Now that I'm about to take a photo of this water, let's select 10 seconds. At the top left corner is a timer. Before I press the shutter button, as I don't want any camera shake which can be caused by pressing the shutter button. The choices are 3, 10, and 20 seconds. This is also very useful if you're going to be taking selfie long exposure shot. And here is the result. So this is the absolute basic long exposure shot in automatic mode. Let's bring the photos to the next level, as they will look much better if you're going to be taking them in manual mode. There are 4 controls here: ISO, shutter speed, manual focus, and white balance. ISO refers to sensitivity of the camera's sensor. In simple words, the more light, the lower number you will select. On a bright sunny day, always slide all the way to the lowest number. If you will shoot indoors or in dark conditions, you might want to increase ISO to get a faster shutter speed so you can take sharp photos of fast-moving subjects. Just keep in mind that the higher ISO, the more noise will be introduced in the photos. Also, smartphones have very small sensor, so it's very important to keep the ISO for night photos very low. Otherwise, you will end up with magenta cast over the photos. But right now it's a daytime, so for this shot, I will choose the lowest ISO possible. Next up is shutter speed. What shutter speed to select? I will slide it left and right until I see the image on the screen perfectly balanced. You can enable histogram here, which will show you if the image is perfectly exposed. You will see where your shadows, midtone, and highlights are. You can also use the zebra stripes. Whatever is red is overexposed. Whatever is blue is underexposed. You want to have the photo perfectly balanced all over. Not too much on the left, not too much on the right. If you click on histogram, you will switch between luminosity and RGB modes. Shutter speed allows you to be creative here. You can use slow shutter speeds to get a blur in your image, or use fast shutter speed to freeze a fast-moving subject. If you will be taking photos in low light, you will use a slower shutter speed so you can keep ISO down. I'm finding that automatic focus works just fine in this app. However, if you want to control focus manually, you can do so here. Manual focus is very useful if you need to focus on a subject which is close or further away. Turn on the eye which is focus peaking. Whatever is green, that is perfectly sharp in focus. You can also click on magnifying glass and tap on the object you want in focus to see better. Last manual control is white balance. The goal is to select white balance to get the same color and tones you would normally see with your eyes. You don't really have to worry about this too much though, because the photos are taken in RAW format, so you can change the white balance after, once you're going to be editing in Lightroom or Luminar Neo. Let's take the shot, and here is the result. Before I show you how you can take your photos to even higher level, let's explain the rest of the settings in this app, which are actually extremely helpful and some are very important. I already talked about timer. Next to it is the gyroscopic tilt meter. Tap to enable and tap to disable. It shows you how straight or leveled your iPhone is when taking a photo. It is super helpful when you take photos of the horizon. Next are grid lines to help you with composing your photos according to rule of thirds. The grid also helps to make sure your horizons are perfect and architectural lines are straight. The last icon is settings. Before we go there, let's explain what those top blue icons are. Those are advanced options available in the Pro version. On the left are interim results. I absolutely love this one. Let's say you're not too sure how long capture you should select to take the photo. This function will allow you to save photos at selected intervals, as it is taking a long capture. So if I select 1 minute capture duration and set interim results 10 seconds, the app will save a photo every 10 seconds. Then you can choose the photo you like the most. It is very useful when you are shooting several minutes or hours long capture. Another advanced option available in the Pro version is parallel bracketing. This function allows you to take 2 photos at different selected exposures, which you can then combine as HDR shot in editing software. You can select to take a photo with up to ±5 stops from the default exposure you are shooting at. There is also live preview available in advanced options, which allows you to see a preview as the photo is captured. However, it will decrease the frame rate and drain your battery faster. So I personally don't have it enabled. Let's go back now to the rest of the settings. I just explained advanced capture options, so let's go to the next one, which is saving options. Here you can enable location and enable backup. If you enable this, ReeXpose will save another copy of the photo in the Files app. Last setting is accessibility. Here you can enable capture mode. If it is on, you will see capture mode with its logo on the screen. When it comes to focus peaking, you can change your preferred color here. The choices are red, green, and light blue. There are more tools available to bring your long exposure photography to even higher level. One of them would be using a CPL filter. Reeflex has such filters available for both iPhone and Android phones. By the way, they have a very extensive line of smartphone lenses and filters available as well. Those are to be used mainly with their Reflex app, built for manual photography. I will link all this below in a video description. So how can CPL filter help? The CPL filter takes away reflection and creates deeper tones. If you take long exposure photos of water, the reflection will be gone and you will get way better colors. The same goes when it comes to taking long exposure photos in the city. Glass reflections will be gone. There are also specialty filters you can get for landscape photography, such as these square gradual filters. If the lower part of the image is darker and the sky is very light, these filters will make the sky darker and make the photo more balanced. Give it a thumbs up if you found this video interesting, subscribe for more, leave a comment below. Here are some other videos which you might find helpful. See you in the next one. Ciao, ahoy!